Hi guys, it's Shelby, and I'm gonna talk about abusive relationships and what it's like to be manipulated or in an abusive relationship. I'm just gonna jump right into it. This is kind of like a touchy subject. A lot of people don't understand when they are being abused or when they're in a relationship where they're being manipulated. Um, if you're feeling unhappy in your relationship for any reason, maybe if it's directly related to the way that the other person is treating you, you might want to take a look at these signs and see what exactly is causing this. So there's the signs of abusive relationships or manipulative relationships. So does he get jealous around when you're around other people? He or she. This could be a girl as well if you're a male. So do they get jealous when you're around other people? Do they make fun of you in front of other people? Do they not let you go out with your friends because they're jealous of what you might do, what you might think? If they hear you're going out with another guy or another girl, do they get extremely jealous and not want you to go? Do they start a fight when you're about to go out the door, kind of thing? Do they threaten to destroy your things or your house or something important to you? Do they make you choose between your family or friends? Do they make you feel torn between going out with your friends or being with this person? So they say, oh, um, if you go out with this person tonight, then we're over, we're done. Do they threaten to take what they've built with you away? Or do they not want you around your family because maybe they don't like your family, but you still love your family? So do they make you choose? Um, do they threaten to hurt you or call you names? Do they physically hurt you? Do they put their hands on you? Do they assault you? Do they, force you into things you don't want to do sexually? Say they want you to have sex, so they're holding you down, trying to, joke around with you, and you're saying stop, and they're not stopping. Do they do that? Do they follow you? Do they call or text you constantly? Or show up at your house even though you said you did not want to be in a relationship in the first place? So those are signs of abusive or manipulative relationships. Manipulating is sort of making the choice between the two, and abuse is those physical, verbal, calling you names, and it's on the verge of stalking if they follow you, constantly text you, constantly call you, or show up at your house even though you've said you don't want to be in a relationship, please respect my space, and they still do it. And it's physical abuse if they're forcing you down or trying to tell you that, they want to have sex with you and they're holding you down and and you're saying stop and they won't stop. Okay, so what you should do in a situation where they're holding you down or trying to tell you to stop, don't hurt them, because that could possibly anger them more. So don't try to hurt them. Don't threaten them with a weapon. Don't hurt them, because if they do that, I mean, you can tell them to stop, tell them to get off, try and get away from them and distance yourself in the room, but don't threaten them, because that might just make them angry. If you do hit them or hurt them more, that might make them even more angry, and you might get into a physical altercation with this person, and you might end up getting hurt, or they might end up getting hurt, and you might end up, getting the police involved and things like that. So, do you feel while you're in this relationship that you have to do what he wants or she? Do you feel like you have to do what they want, otherwise they're going to threaten you or abuse you in the ways that I mentioned before? Are you afraid of the reactions? What might happen if you say what you feel? Or are you scared of what he's going to say if you look a certain way? Say you're scared to dye your hair because you're scared that he's not going to like it, or he's going to call you down because you look a different way, or whatever. Do you feel like he's not listening to you? That when you are honest with him, he brushes it off and pretends like it was never said? Do you feel like you're not being heard, your point isn't getting across? Are you not able to communicate efficiently when you are seriously not wanting to be in this relationship anymore? Do you feel like you can't leave the relationship because of what he may or may not do? Um, or just may do, I guess, in general. So there is ways to get out of these relationships. If you do have problems that I had mentioned, or you're feeling abused or manipulated, you can still get your distance, you can get your life back. You have to plan ahead. You have to make sure, obviously don't let them know what you're doing or that you're planning ahead, but tell them that you're being honest. Try and get as much distance as you can. If it's really bad and you just have to just leave and you just have to go somewhere else and stay somewhere else and not let him know where you are or what you're doing, you may have to just leave and do that. You can stay elsewhere. There's abusive shelters, there's things you can stay in. If you're in a really small town where there isn't any help, there usually is, a lot of the time there is for women. I'm not so much sure for men. If a woman is kind of stalking you or abusing you, but there is places that you can get a hold of, places you can stay. There is people here to help. You can talk to other people, let them know your situation, let your friends know your situation, let them know that you don't want to be speaking with this guy. If you are staying at a friend's house, let them know the situation beforehand. Make sure that they're not going to tell him that you're avoiding him, because that's just going to, make him or her angry, and they might do something rational. Try to stay safe for a while, and if you absolutely have to, you can get the law enforcement involved if you need a peace bond or a protection order. There's emergency protection orders if you've been hit, if you've been really abused, if this person's stalking you, they won't leave you alone, or they're making you feel like they're going to hurt themselves if they threaten suicide on you, and they say, if you leave, I'm going to kill myself, I don't know what I'm going to do. You can actually, if they're serious and they're really bawling and crying about that, you can call the police and send them to your house, and they'll take him to mental health and get him help if he's really suicidal about it. That's, I find, a guilt trip. You shouldn't do that to anyone. You should never threaten your life for someone about a relationship. That's just me. You can feel really bad, but don't threaten your life and don't put it on anyone else. Let other people know that you don't live with him. Talk to other people. If you have children involved, make sure the children are safe. Make sure there's other arrangements for the children. You might have to take a different route to go to work if he knows which way you walk or which way you drive. If he knows where you work and stuff like that, let people at work know that you're going through a rough time. This is what's going on. If this guy shows up, tell him, that you're not here, you haven't been here, or that he's, by work regulations not allowed in here, or something like that. You have to let other people know. You can't go through this on your own. So there is other places that can help you. Like I said, there's women's shelters, there's other shelters, there's emergency protection orders, things like that. I have another paper here. Yeah, and you have to talk to people about, again, like I said, your employment, your coworkers, if it's a crisis emergency situation, you can call 911 if he's at your door with a baseball bat or something. You can call 911 and they will send someone over to help you and get you out of that situation. Just talk about it as much as you can. Don't let this person know what's going on. If they are really crazy like this, don't let them know what's going on. You might have to change your phone number, change your locks if they have a key. The best thing to do, I think, is just get out of the situation, get out of the house if you can. If you can't, change your locks, have 911 on speed dial. If you're really, really, really threatened for your life, you need to go to the police and say, this man is bothering me, this woman's bothering me, and let them know that you're scared and that you need help. I would find that a last resort if you do have other situations. Like if you have other forms of support, then I say that's one of the last options. So I just wanted to let you guys know that. I hope you have a good day, and leave any comments below if you have any other questions. I've been through this, so I can let you know what it's like and give you some